Angelina Kelly, and we are here today at Ballers with LiveScore Bet's European brand ambassador, the one and only Dimitar Berbatov. Dimitar, good to speak to you.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Now, I know that you're here for a campaign titled Play with Control. That is set to launch during Safer Gambling Week in the UK and Ireland, which is from the 17th to the 23rd of November. Now, if we're talking about you on the pitch when it comes to control, your calmness, that's something, especially under pressure, it's something that a lot of people remember about you. So what do you attribute that to be?
To slowing time down in my mind, or at least I thought that I was doing that.
Yeah.
So when the ball was flying towards me on the pitch, I was able in my mind to slow it down, this way slowing the game down around me and taking control of the whole situation. Of course, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but this was my protocol of doing things. And in that way, while the ball was traveling to me, I was slowing the time down, and then I was seeing all my teammates where they are on the pitch, so I was more capable and able to play the game with one touch, or maybe get the ball with my touch and turn around and then continue the play. But this was my way of, in the midst of all the chaos, let's say, that happening on the pitch sometimes, or the last minutes of the game when you need to score important goal, everybody's going crazy. Breathe, calm down,
Yep.
Gather yourself together, slow the time down, give me the ball, and then try to do something different, something important.
Now, I know that you've spoken a lot about this kind of coolness and taking a bit of inspiration from martial arts films and kind of being the master, being calm and collected. Right. And I know that you were in a Manchester United ad recently for the third kit launch, and you were playing the role of the sensei. So I wanted to ask, did you ever have a footballing sensei? Did you ever have anybody in your life, in your career, that was that person?
But there is difference. You mean the people I idolize when I growing up watching, or someone who was actually someone there with advice for me?
Someone with advice. Or you just didn't listen to anyone's advice?
No, you must be really stupid not to listen to the right people for the right advice. Yes. But to be honest, most of the times growing up, where I used to grow up back in the day in Bulgaria, it was more about trusting your instincts. Either is for on the pitch, in the complex where I used to play football with the kids, is it in the school or different things, and learning to trust my intuition when I was going through my journey. Of course, I can easily say I had my family, my mom, my dad, my friends, but most of the time it's me trying to master my intuition of knowing what is right and what is wrong. And in all honesty, I said many times, my intuition was 99% right every time when I was trying to listen to her. The times when I didn't, that 1%, it was always leading me to places I don't want it to be. And of course, with me was sometimes asking people for advice, or just taking advice from people, but then needed to know, is it the right information or not? Because you can get the best advice from someone you don't know. Like I had it in my life, a situation like this. Or sometimes you get the wrong advice from the people next to you. So again, it's about taking that control and knowing how to separate the right information from the wrong information.
Now, you talk about that intuition and making those decisions yourself. You were a very special type of player, in my opinion. It was almost artistic, the way that you would play. And I wanted to get your thoughts on the modern football that we are seeing at the moment, because we're seeing the resurgence of set pieces. Yep. We've got the long throws, we've got the long balls. When you played, like I say, you were the entertainer. You were so aesthetically pleasing. Do you watch this type of football and think do you find it entertaining?
Now?
Yeah.
I will always love football. I mean, this is my first love, as they say, and forever loved. And I can never say a bad word about the game of football. Of course, it's about who you're asking and how they understand football. And thank you for the way you say the things about me. I also felt that I was an artist on the pitch, painting something. Sometimes I did paint masterpiece. Sometimes I paint. I'm not gonna say what, but that's how football works. That's how life works. Now these days, football changed a little bit, of course, but to be able to have different ways of winning football game is not a bad thing. If you know that you need to work on set pieces, you go and work on them and then take advantage on the pitch. If the other team didn't figure out how to use and stop you to using them. If you're gonna long throw and you think that's gonna make you score, you do it, because in the end of the day, football, it's about result, right? If you want to win trophies and then you look back and say, I want this, you need to win games. And sometimes winning the game is using your best qualities that you have. Of course, if you can do it in an artistic way, beautiful way, and then win games, oh my God, that's the best thing ever. And some teams doing it. But people forget that sometimes football is pragmatical, if that's the word, where you just go out there direct because you want to win. You're in a tight spot, you're last or you're bottom of the Premier League, let's say, you need to win games.
You do it however you've got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess we're seeing that with Arsenal, in that there's a lot of criticism about them, using set pieces and things, but they're getting the job done and they're winning.
To be honest, I applaud them for this. And they are very smart of doing this because they know how to play football. They know how to move the ball, look for the space, technical ability up there with the best. And now they have another weapon in their arsenal to know when they need to, they'll use it, of course. Yeah. And they're scoring a lot of goals, which, as I said, great to them. And I think other teams are going to learn and take example of this and try to do the same.
Now, I wanted to talk to you about Tottenham Hotspur because Thomas Frank is, becoming, he is a little bit more dependent on these kind of longer balls and set pieces, etc. What have you made to his start to life at Tottenham Hotspur?
I think he's really well respected, and I think he was doing great things before coming to Spurs. So I think in a way this is, upgrade or next step in into his journey into management. I think he's in a great place because Spurs is a great team. They have everything at their disposal: great stadium, great training facilities, good players to go places. And when I say go places, now in my mind they need to build on that success they had with the trophy they won. Yeah. And they need to use it now and not even try. They need to go to the next level. Yeah. With the players they have, with the new manager, because everybody's now expectation is big for them. Go out there, win the games, win the trophy, win the next trophy. That's not possible, of course, every time. So for Spurs, the key thing they need to find, in my understanding, is consistency. Yeah. They find that consistency, winning. They have that mentalities, and then it's going to be more easy for all of the team. Of course, the manager is one of the most important pieces in that puzzle, because he is the guy who says to his troops, to his soldiers, this is how we're going to play. Yeah. Direct, tiki-taka, technical, or maybe combine set pieces, long throw. He decides, and then you go there and you do it. In the case of Thomas Frank, I think he's have that flexibility, sometimes to play that tiki-taka, sometimes direct, set pieces if he needs to, because as I said, for good or bad results, you need results. Yeah. Otherwise, you're out of job in the end.
What have you made of their attackers? Do you see a Berbatov type of player at Spurs? And also, the word about is that Ivan Toney is being linked to Spurs. I think not just from a fashion perspective, he'd look good in a Spurs shirt, but what do you think about him in a Spurs shirt?
Well, first, I saw myself in Harry Kane when he was there, to be honest, because he still is going strong even now, dropping deep, getting the ball, having the eye for the pass, of course, the goals. Yeah. Everybody knows about that, but he's not a goal scorer. He's a great football player, because there is a difference between a good football player and a goal scorer. There is a big difference. You can score goals, tappings, just score goals. But if you need to drop deep, get the ball, and then do something else, you're gonna have difficulty. With Harry Kane, it was all this put together, he was unbelievable. That's why I love watching him. Now, I don't think Spurs have the similar profile like him or me. Going to your other question about Ivan Toney, then if he decides to go there, the way he plays football is, let's say, interesting in a way that he knows where the goal is. He also looks calm under pressure. He can score goals. He can shoot, takes penalties as well. So is he going to be a good fit, if you ask me? Why not? Do Spurs need a striker to put a bit more pressure on the striker already there? If it's for good, yes. Sometimes you need to be careful because that can breed problems. Because football players, especially strikers, big egos, big personalities. We all think we are the special one, the chosen one.
Yeah.
and sometimes that can lead to more trouble into the team.
Now, one footballer who is definitely one of the special ones is a former teammate of yours, Cristiano Ronaldo. We talk about Manchester United. He's done an interview recently where he was asked what he thought about Ruben Amorim, and he's talked about how you need miracles. Okay. Do you think that's a little bit harsh to say that Manchester United now are in need of a miracle?
But when it says miracle for winning,
Ruben Amorim needs a miracle.
But for winning games, winning the trophies.
I think that it's just about improving this team because he said that there are good players, but they don't always understand what it is to be a Manchester United player.
Well, it's. If I knew the answer, honestly, probably I would be the manager of United. If I knew what exactly the team needs.
I mean, Ronaldo has high standards. Why he's saying something like a miracle?
Of course. Not only that, Ronaldo is coming from a mentality of winner all his professional career. Yeah. And I can back that up because for the 1 year that I used to play with him, you can I was seeing it like everybody else that he was preparing for something great. And when you step into dressing room full of winners, like I had the opportunity to be with United, and like Ronaldo did, and any other player who was there, we were learning from each other. Of course, there were other more old players and experience who gave that knowledge to us, and then you pass it to the next one. And this is what maybe United lost throughout the years because we didn't win the title since 2013, I think, last year of Sir Alex. So that winning mentality, although we won some trophies through the years, but the Premier League still evade us, if that's the word.
Evade, yeah.
So we need to get that way of to feel the starvation that is there for the Premier League, get that back, and because of this, get the ambition of winning. And when you get all this, the miracles will come. They will come as long as you fight for it, you work for it. I don't like the word luck, so I'm not going to use it. No. But when you work for it, and then when you prepare for it, in the right moment, the right time, you're going to catch that opportunity. Miracle happens in football all the time.
And finally, I just wanted to ask you about Benjamin Šeško and what you've made of him so far. Because he's come under a little bit of stick, which I think is unfair, because I would imagine, and it's something that you can talk about, moving from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, moving to a new country, to a new culture, new language, etc. There's a lot going on, isn't there?
It is, but when you are Manchester United brand and you are one of the most famous team in the world, and you are always in the spotlight, for good or bad, you're there. And when you put the shirt on, the pressure automatically is on you to perform. To perform on the pitch and outside of the pitch, to know how to behave, to know how to speak to people, journalists, etc. So with him, maybe it's a slow start, but let's hope that he's taking that time to learn the new way of the Premier League, of his teammates, to learn how his teammates playing, to tell them how he plays. So that small details matters a lot in the games. When I make the run, just watch me. I will make that run for you. Give me the ball. Demand the ball. Of course, the strikers ultimately are judged by the goals they score, which, if you ask me, is not fair, because a striker can do so much more on the pitch, especially these days. Of course, if you have the ability like I told you before. Some strikers are just goal scorers.
Like Haaland, for example.
And they feed on the services of the players around you. So you need to have good players. They need to know that you are there, so they cross the ball, you score. Sometimes you have other qualities that you can make your own goals, or maybe make assists for your teammates to score. Drop deeps, like we spoke about Harry Kane. In his case, he have the speed, because I watch him. He's tall, he's strong, he's athletic. He can score with his head. The goals I saw he's scoring in his previous clubs, left, right foot, bangers.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like, well done, he's coming to United. Now I'm again cautiously optimistic. I want him to have the best time possible, but he is dependable.
Dependent on the other players.
On the players around him to give him the cross so he can feed on them. So this is, again, knowing your teammates. That's the most important thing.
I like that, knowing your teammates. Very, very quickly, I just wanted to ask you about social media, because we're seeing players getting more hate than ever. We're also seeing players be more vocal than ever and using social media, whether people think it's good or bad. I know that you've spoken about, you were very private during your playing career. You were quite reserved. Would we have seen Dimitar taking to social media ever? And what do you think about this new age that we're seeing?
You know, I was thinking or spoke with friends about this a while ago, because in my time, obviously, I don't even think that Instagram was there.
I don't think it was.
Facebook, I think, was there.
Facebook was, yeah.
Instagram, social was not so popular. So I was thinking to myself and asking myself, I'm going to be able to behave and get the criticism that now players are getting on the social medias? I don't know, to be honest.
Because you got a lot of unfair criticism, I think.
That's why I was going through my fair share of criticism, sometimes fair, sometimes not fair. But now it's open to everybody, because everybody thinks they understand football, to criticize as much as they can. Football players or any athlete, they are human beings. I don't care how tough you think you are. Someone says bad thing about you,
it's going to get to you.
Even you pretend you don't. When that bad thing is repeated 100 times, million times, for sure it's going to get to you. Then you need to be strong enough to know how to react or control your emotions, or maybe let loose your emotions so you're going to feel better. So that's why I say, if you have a problem, speak with wife, girlfriend, family, friends. If you have a therapist in the team, sports therapist, speak with him. You know, this way you're going to feel better, trust me. Because you say I've been more private in my career, but that's a heavy load to carry. And sometimes your head is going to be this big and you're going to explode eventually. So in now this world we live in, that everybody can criticize, think about doing it. Sometimes it's necessary, sometimes it's not. But if you're someone on the wrong hand of a criticism and you feel bad about it, speak with someone so you can make you feel good and give you your power back to know that you're good enough. Go out there and perform.
Thank you so much for that. I think that's really insightful. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. I know that we were talking before we hit record about our equal love of The Godfather, and how, you know, Dimitar Berbatov 10, 15 years ago, Andy Garcia, there was a bit of a likeness. Can I just finish with your favourite Godfather quote?
Put me on the
Mine is, you come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Do it with accent. Do it in the.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
Put your jaw up a little bit.
Put my jaw.
You come to me.
You break my heart, Fredo.
I'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Dimitar.
No worries. Thank you.